After more than a year of speculation and lots of leaks, Tesla has finally announced the new Tesla Model Y for 2025. So there's been quite a few leaks of this car, and this has been something which has been very, very anticipated, this new upcoming Model Y. Many people have wanted all the features that the Cybertruck had to come to the car. Many expected it simply to look like the new Model 3, which you can see my video about on this channel, but it looks like it's a bit of both. About a day before the Tesla announcement, we had these first fully leaked photos of them testing out in the snow, just like the weather here in the UK. And this was the first time we'd actually seen it, unofficially but officially. Shortly after that, Tesla announced it officially for the Chinese market first, and other countries that are served by the same area. So there's lots of interesting things to notice. First of all, looking at these photos, you have the same sweeping light bar all around the front, taken from Tesla's Cybercab. And it's a really cool look, but remember, the real lights will be down below it because that's just the daytime running lights. The light bar does look good though and very futuristic, but just like all the new Audis and BMWs, you've got a split light system here, and the lower area is the actual lights. This new Model Y has a new suspension and tyres that make for a smoother, quieter ride. And they say from the front bumper to the tail light, the exterior is completely redesigned to unlock maximum efficiency so you can get the most out of the range. With updated suspension, wheels and tyres, it will be quieter. Around the back, it's great to see that we've got a really cool light bar. Light bars are not new to Tesla, but this has kind of a cool Tron kind of Knight Rider look to it. It's much larger, much thicker, and it's very, very interesting to look at. We can see the Tesla lettering does sweep right across that light bar, but it's kind of glowing above it as opposed to directly shining behind it. For the exterior, there are two different wheel options so far, 19-inch standard wheels, and then there's 20-inch wheels as an option. There are basically the Nova wheels taken from the Model 3, but a bit bigger to make it look better on this size car. Then Tesla did also announce a new color that's replacing the previous blue color. It's now glacier blue paint. And I like it. I think it looks good. Subtle blues, very futuristic. Now, what have Tesla done with the driving assistance? There's a new camera at the bottom of the front bumper, which will give a wider view of everything going along. So it provides a wider field of view for automatic assisted driving and advanced smart summon, something that we can't get in the UK. A new front camera has been added under the front bumper, allowing drivers to better view the front of the vehicle. Additionally, the camera gives a self-cleaning function. Around the back, we can see it's got the same traditional Model Y look, but it's just got the updated areas. You can see they moved the number plate as well and increased the size of the diffuser and dropped it down below the rear hatch. The front definitely has a reshaped hood. Now let's look at the interior. There are a couple of big differences between the Model 3. First, this is very obvious to the very similar Model 3 refresh, but it does have the light bar integrated in the side that doesn't extend quite in the same fashion. It extends about halfway into the front door and then continues into the rear doors. For rear passengers, there's a rear screen, so passengers can play games or watch whatever they want using the great infotainment system. And that's a great upgrade for this car and something which brings it into line with the other models. It looks to have a larger screen thanks to smaller bezels, except for there does appear to be an indicator. Not all markets may have the same feature, so let's see if that is what comes to Europe and the US. It might just be a China thing that has an indicator stalk. We'll see if this is available in the US and other markets, but I don't think so. Why would they do that? It doesn't make sense to have it. Now, there aren't any indicator buttons on the steering wheel, but of course, why would it need them if it's got an actual indicator stalk? It's very unusual for indicators to be removed and then put back, so I'm just not buying it. Yes, even in my video, I had complaints about the indicators, but we'll see. Now, lots of customers would like the stalk. Here's what Sawyer Merritt has to say. The new Model Y provides precision indicated engineering in the stalk, is thoughtfully refined based on customer feedback, customizable steering wheel switches, quick and intuitive operation, and most frequently used vehicle functions are available too. So it's a bit easier to use. We'll see. Maybe Tesla have listened to the feedback. There's the same glass roof that we're used to seeing, but then we see these new rear and front seats. First of all, the front seats are ventilated, and we can see there's a perforation here for the ventilation, which is a great premium upgrade for the Model Y. Then of course black and white interior options like normal for Tesla, and the white interior has more white elements than it had before. And then the rear seats actually power up and down, which is really cool to see, very handy when your hands are full, you've got stuff in it and you want to fill it up. So great to have powered controls back there with the buttons, and it brings it up into the case of other premium SUVs that are available. There are a lot of features that the Model Y is lacking, however, compared to cars in its price range. So Tesla is doing a great job of bringing it up to speed, especially in China, where things are very competitive with electric vehicles. We've seen BYD, for example. It's actually one of the benefits of Tesla having to compete in China, whereas in the US they have things mostly their own way, although Lucid and Rivian are giving them some competition. So those are the main details for the outside and the inside of the Model Y. A lot of it is what we expected, but there are some nice new additions. The peak power for the Model Y is still 250 kilowatts for charging, and that means it uses the same platform before, which is what we expected. There's no upgrade to 800 volts, which would make it like the Cybertruck, unfortunately, but I think this is more of a facelift than a total redo. I think it's a lot like the Model 3 refresh. It seems highly unlikely that the rear-wheel drive would have the same peak power, but it's charging at 170 kilowatts. As for range, it's seen about a 3% range increase thanks to new aerodynamics and general efficiency. And now it's got 719 kilometers on the CLTC estimate. So we don't know how really the Chinese range estimates compare. Obviously the EPA is more strict than even WLTP in Europe, but we think it's about 352 miles range, which is probably very good. I mean, if it actually gets 352 miles and it's not actually getting less than that, but we'll see if that happens when it's actually released in the rest of the world. You will lose some range if you change the wheels from the 90 to 20. Technically, it's 1mm thinner than before the car. It's 47mm longer and then 1mm shorter when you're talking about height. The top range, of course, was the 790 kilometers mark, but the real world and the rear-wheel drive version comes in at 593 kilometers. That's a version like is available in Europe with the rear-wheel drive Model 3, may not be available in the US. Deliveries of the new Model Y are starting in March in China, so we'll see how it launches in the rest of the world, but interesting to see that they're announcing first in China, and hopefully it's coming soon. The existing Model Y is still shown on the UK and US and other international sites, so we'll see how long it takes before Tesla brings it out to everybody else. It may well be sooner than we think, or it might not be. Now in China there also is a special launch edition which includes a rear badge which looks a bit like the plaid badge or the fast badge, just with the sun in it. It looks cool though, and it has puddle lights too. There are some different materials inside, but I think they're very similar to the rest. It also includes an acceleration boost, so it goes faster. And this has been announced with Chinese New Year in mind, so it'll be interesting to see when it is out in other markets. There's a number of videos showing new features on the Tesla website, and it's just a bit more of a refined look to this car, which is great to see. But this is the second version of the Model Y, just like we've got the second version of the Model 3, which I reviewed on my channel, and Tesla have made these subtle changes to make it better and better in every way that they can. It's curious to see what it'd be like in person, but I really do like how that back light bar integrates with the rear lights, but I'm not sure how I feel about the lower front lights. I'm not a big fan of split lights, but hey, it's what everyone is doing, so I guess that's what we're getting. So that's a new Model Y. Let's wait and see how it is when it comes out later in the year in the rest of the world, but it's a very cool looking car. Thanks for watching. Please check out my other videos, including the other reviews I have of Tesla on the channel, including the Model 3 Performance and the Model 3 rear-wheel drive comparison. Don't forget to give me a like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.